Gambit has recently won FarmSpark 2021 finals on the 24th of January versus Entropic. We saw a great level coming out from the side of Gambit in this tournament, guys, and today I'll be breaking down the 8th round on the second map of the finals. We will start off, guys, by checking out Axel and what he is doing for Gambit during this round. First of all, at the start of the round, he'll be throwing a standard Xbox smoke with a jump throw bind to immediately show presence in this area of the map and sort of keep the CTs guessing. After this, he'll go towards long, throwing a flash in this position, also again trying to show presence early on in the round. However, Axel does get a Molotov off towards long, delaying Gambit's push a little longer. However, that isn't too big of a deal in this situation. After Shiro and interz are now with him and ready to go towards long, Shiro will throw a flash, allowing for Axel and interz to both get out towards long safely. They will then go out together, making sure to clear every little angle they can think of before going anti-flash to make sure the CTs don't throw some sort of pop flash and attempt to retake long control. Axel will then peek towards long with a flashbang that Shiro did throw for him, while interz throws a Molotov towards car just to try flash out anyone in that position. This then causes Entropic to drop a smoke towards the site, and this could be used as a little bit of a one-way. This does force Axel to reconsider his decision and run all the way back towards the corner. From this point on in the round, Gambit will then be slowing down completely a lot because they don't want to be shifting up long and then Entropic could be flashing out and retaking long control. So they really just slow it down completely and wait to see if Entropic reacted anyway. When Gambit is now ready to proceed up long, Axel will be going first. He'll be throwing a Molotov towards elevator before running onto the site with multiple flashes from his team, giving him the entry onto Crad, who is just full blind at this point before being traded from Ilion. Axel does a great job in this situation though. He gets the space and he gets the entry his team needed. We will now be moving on towards nafany here, and we will begin the round by going towards B tunnel with Hobbit. nafany does hear a few footsteps towards lower tunnel. This sort of makes him a little more aware and forces Hobbit and nafany to fall back all the way towards CT spawn. After this, nafany will then throw a standard Xbox smoke, once again the same one as Axel, and at this point of the round, Gambit has now used 2 smokes towards Xbox, and having this area of the map smoked off makes it much more challenging for the CT side of Entropic to get information across the map. After this, nafany will then briefly watch behind until Hobbit is in this area who can swap out in his position. nafany will then go up along with the rest of his team, staying close to Axel, being the second entry for Gambit in this situation. The short player does take nafany's attention, allowing for the player towards CT to catch him off, as nafany in this situation can't really see that there is actually a player behind that Molotov, even though we can see it in the X-ray obviously because it's a lot easier for us, but in his exact situation it is very different and he just cannot see it. However, nafany does a great job in creating the space for his team and allowing for the trace to come in. Moving on to Shiro now, and if you are AWPer, this is the point that I really want you to pay attention to, okay? Because he isn't just being a player who is gonna go around and get AWP kills, but he is someone who's gonna be throwing utility for his teammates and also being in positions, making sure to cover them as much as he can. Shiro will start off the round by dropping into suicide, trying to catch anyone who is trying to cross in this position towards B. He does get smoked off towards top mid when Entropic goes for a lower tunnel control push, forcing Shiro to just try to take a random shot and hopefully catch a timing. However, he doesn't get the frag in this situation. He will then pick up the bomb, making sure to bring it towards long before flashing Axel and interz out towards this position. This then allows Shiro to post up on the corner of long while Axel and interz go anti-flash for a couple of seconds. This is exactly what I'm talking about when I say notice Shiro's positioning, okay? He is making sure to cover and flash for his teammates in what they're doing because he has the most powerful weapon on the entire server and he needs to be using it to help his team. When Axel and interz are now ready to peek out long, Shiro will throw a deep flash towards site, allowing for Axel to peek and not get caught off by anyone. Now that Axel has long control for a brief second, as Shiro did flash him out, this allows for Shiro to now cross in towards pit with the AWP, setting him up in my opinion, the strongest position you can have an AWP on the T side. After this again, as we saw earlier with Axel, they will be completely slowing it down. So Gambit will now completely hide and play passive, allowing for Entropic that if they want to, they can retake long. However, Entropic does not do that in this situation and puts a little bit more presence towards middle. After this, Gambit will now start to move up long and go contact play. And again, Shiro will be making sure to hold this position to cover his teammates the best he can to make sure no Entropic members can just swing long and take a fight onto his riflers that are walking up. At this point in the round, when Gambit is shifted up as far as they can go before crossing CT, interz has actually dropped Shiro a flash in this situation, allowing for him to throw this deep flashbang over towards the site, initializing this entire final push from Gambit. Shiro will then use this time of the post plant to wrap all the way around from long towards short. As you can see, this is very unexpected, and Forrester didn't expect it at all, as he's still looking towards long for Shiro, resulting in Shiro to close out this round. And guys, if you don't already know, interz is one of my favorite players currently in the current day of CS. He doesn't always get credit for what he does for Gambit, however, without a great support like himself, Gambit will be much worse off. interz will start the round off by going towards long with Axel. He'll just be holding for a mid push very briefly until they are ready to take this long control and the Molotov has expired from long. He'll then go with Axel, having great spacing. Just notice his positioning right here. He isn't too far away from Axel, but he's also making sure that he isn't too close to him at the same time. And this is something all second entries or support players, or just honestly anyone in general, should have awareness of, is their spacing with their teammates. interz will then throw a Molotov towards car and then spamming it a little bit just to make sure that no one actually is hiding in that position before grabbing the bomb that Shiro actually did leave out in the open, so that if Entropic do peek long, they don't just see the bomb sitting there. So that's actually a great observation by interz to make sure he grabs it up and brings it back. And like I just said very recently, looking at the Shiro clip we just watched, interz does drop over the flash towards him, allowing for the deep flash to come in before throwing a fast CT smoke and flashing for the right side of Gambit, full flashing Crad on site, resulting in the entry for Axel. After this, interz is making sure to move up with the rest of his team, being in a position allowing for him to trade onto his alien after he takes out Axel. From this position, he does actually have to plant safe because he knows in this situation, Entropic still has CT control and also could have short control. So it would be very risky for him to just plant in the open for long in this situation, as they could potentially boost or even peek from short. After this, interz will then move back towards Goose, playing 2 on site with Hobbit. However, Entropic does boost up towards CT, resulting in interz going down. However, once again, interz did an incredible job for Gambit in this round, throwing utility, creating space, and being there for trading. Finally, guys, we'll be moving on towards Hobbit. We'll start off the round going towards upper tunnel with nafany before being called back, as we already know nafany did hear some sound. Notice while Hobbit is moving back, he is constantly being aware that at any point in this situation, a player could be peeking him from lower tunnel. He will then move all the way back to T-spawn and just be holding this angle until Lackey does walk into his crosshair in an attempt to get some information. However, Hobbit uses his great aim and does take him out in this situation. After this, Hobbit will then run back towards T-spawn to throw a third Xbox smoke for Gambit. I just want to remind you here how much utility Gambit has been using towards this mid area without even putting any players here to take the space. This is the third smoke they've been throwing in this position without anyone towards middle. Hobbit will then drop suicide straight away after this smoke, throwing a Molotov towards short, and as you can see from this Molotov, it does stop Crad from peeking and he's unable to get information. Hobbit will then briefly stay towards top middle, throwing a flash a little bit later on just to fake this mid take even more before heading back towards long with the rest of his team. He will then check behind once more just for a brief second really before making sure to go towards car in order to help his team out secure the site. Later on in the round, as you know, interz does get taken out from the boost towards CT, and this gives the information to Hobbit that all of the remaining players are towards CT, allowing for him to reposition a little bit so he can purely focus on this area. He does get a kill on towards Nickelback, also having a great attempt at this spray transfer towards Forrester. However, it does again put the situation into Shiro's favor, allowing for him to close out the round. All in all, guys, Gambit played out this round and this entire game, to be honest, to just absolute perfection. They used every little piece of utility they have and also the map control to their advantage. If you enjoyed the video, guys, make sure to like the video and subscribe if you're new. It's been Glaze, and I'll speak to you very, very soon.